Hello, my name is Robin Clark. My friends call me Charlie, and this is another episode of Something to Talk About. So let's talk. There are many subjects that we grapple with that we do not know how to talk to our friends about, and this is another one of those subjects. And the subject today is death, dying, and being a widow. Now, this might not seem like a subject that you want in your wheelhouse, but in the next 20 years, it's estimated that 22.2 million baby boomers are going to die of cancer. So if you're not standing in front of a mirror and seeing a widow, then there's a good possibility you'll be standing in a room with one shortly. What I'm about to say is brutally honest, and many of you might not like what I'm about to say, but I'm going to say it anyways. And that is, I'm going to ask you a question, and then I'm going to answer the question. And the question is, are you happy you're a widow? You are. And you know that you are. But when somebody asks us that question, deep down inside we're saying yes. But on the outside we're saying no, 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 no. It's not that we're happy that our spouse has died. We're happy that it's over. And this isn't for the widow that lost their spouse in a split second to an accident. This is geared towards the widow that and the friends of widows that spent months, if not years, sacrificing themselves, being a caregiver to their spouse. This is somewhat of a double-edged sword. There is that, yes, we're happy that it's over, but then there's that guilt. And that guilt is brought on by feeling happy that we are no longer suffering and exhausted and full of fear and anger and sorrow and loneliness. And in turn, watching the same emotional roller coaster ride happening within our spouse, and there was nothing that we could do about it. This question I ask you, are you happy? Are you a widow? It's like you might be saying, Jesus, Robin, who would even ask that question? We do. The widowed asks ourselves that question all the time. That's what we grapple with, is being happy that the burden has been lifted. It's not that our spouse was a burden. It's the whole situation was a burden. What is the definition of a burden? The definition of a burden is a load, typically a heavy one. And it was a very big load that we carried on our shoulders. Now, I've been a widow for almost 4 years. My husband died of a very, very rare form of leukemia and was put into a clinical study and survived a very tumultuous, dwindling 2 years after his diagnosis and bone marrow transplant. And as I got stronger about a year and a half after my husband had passed away, my girlfriend called me up and she says, you want to have a movie night? And I said, wow, a movie night, that sounds really good. So I get over to her house, we sit down on the couch, and we have our wine and the popcorn, and we're snuggling in all into our bankies, and the comedy is loaded and just about ready to get started. And my girlfriend yells, wow! And it just started the hell out of me. And I look at her and I said, what? And she says, Roger just came to me, and he told me that he's okay, he's doing fine, and that he's not in any pain, and he's not suffering anymore, and that he loves you, and he wants you to have a wonderful life, and he doesn't want you to worry about him. And she went on and on and on, and my happiness and my joy turned into tears. Just the waterworks started happening, and I thought to myself, why didn't my deceased husband come to me and tell me that he loved me and tell me that he was happy and tell me that he didn't have to worry? And then my next thought was, wait a second. If this really even happened, which I doubt, why did my girlfriend just feel the need to do that? Why did she just feel the need to bring that up like she did when everything was happening in a moment of joy, and we were having girl time, and it was just really a lot of fun? why did my friend feel the need to do that? It was basically a moment of pure torture. Pure torture. One thing you have to remember is that the widowed thinks about their spouse at least every 5 minutes of every day. Something will happen, a picture or a moment or something on TV or a smell or an article of clothing or something that we shared together. We are thinking about our spouse at least every 5 minutes of every day. And it is very hard on us. Another situation to bring this point up is I went to my girlfriend's house and she says, I got you a present. And I thought, wow, this is really cool. I got a present for no reason. And, that's kind of nice. So I opened it up and she had made me a coffee cup. And on one side of it, it was a picture of our wedding picture. And on the other side of it was a picture of us being happy in this moment that I kind of remembered. It was a lot of fun. And she says, now you can wake up every morning with him and you won't forget him. And I thought to myself, I want to wake up every morning and not think about this. I want to wake up every morning and not look at my coffee cup and be reminded that my husband is gone. And we don't want to be reminded our spouse is gone or our husband's gone. We just don't want to be reminded. As time goes on, also you start inviting us to social gatherings and to parties, at house parties and things like that. And one thing you'll have to remember is that the widowed is going to be late. And because we're at home thinking to ourselves, do I really want to do this? Do I really want to put myself through this? Because we know exactly what's going to happen. It happens to us constantly. And that is, we're going to get to the party and our friends are going to come up to us, and our friends' friends that we're acquaintances with are going to come up to us and say, oh, I'm so sorry for your loss. And how are you doing? So what that does is it makes the widow have to figure out something to say to make you happy, to make you feel better in that exact moment. Because to be honest with you, if you really wanted to start that conversation with us, if you really wanted to hear the answers, you'd probably say, just a minute, I need to go get another drink, 2 or 3, and before the conversation starts. So we're the ones sitting in the corner and listening to the groups say, oh, that's my friend over there. She just lost her husband. It's really, really sad. So we're standing over there kind of raising our wine glasses as we're being kind of gawked at. And we're thinking to ourselves, where is the escape route? Can I get out of here with nobody realizing I'm gone? Probably. And I'm going to do that. We don't want to stay and deal with this. We're trying to move on, and we're asking you to help us move on. So when you see a smile on a widow's face, let her enjoy it. Don't go up to her and the first question or the first sentence that you say is, I'm so sorry for your loss. Treat us just like you would all the rest of your friends. Charlie, how are you doing? It's good to see you. What's up? What's new? So we get to then say to you, we are gardening, or we got a new job, or we got a new car, or we just went on a ski trip, or we just went to Greece and had a really great time. We get to tell you how all the joys and how we have finally come above water. We're finally breathing again. And as soon as we start breathing again, we don't need you to push us back down under the water. We need you to treat us just like you would anyone else. And remember that in the back of our minds, we're thinking about our husbands. We don't need you to remind us that we need to. So, yes, we are happy that we are widowed, because the alternative is to still be in the presence of watching our spouses suffer and dwindle away into nothing right before our eyes, and there was nothing we can do about it. So, like I said before, if you see a smile on a widow's face, let her enjoy it. Let him enjoy it. And another thing, widowed is a woman, widower is a male, And widowed is the combination of both. So now you know. Charlie out.